jelly donuts, sir!
Since the 70s, McDonald's has been America's go-to restaurant for anyone looking for a quick and delicious breakfast. Recently, they revamped their breakfast menu, adding a new and exciting item they dubbed Donut Sticks. Today, we bring you everything you could ever want to know about this new addition to a classic menu: the 10 untold truths about McDonald's Donut Sticks.
Hey, are these free?
An innovative sales boost.
I'm getting 100 cups of coffee, starting now.
McDonald's is a business, and like any other, they're always experimenting with new strategies to increase their revenue. At its core, that was the motivation behind Donut Sticks. Many people eat breakfast at home and save their restaurant trips for lunch or dinner. As a result, many fast food chains find that morning sales leave something to be desired. While they did increase by 1% in 2018, they're still not up to standard. McDonald's is attempting to overcome this hurdle with the promise of this early morning treat. The strategy is that it will draw people to the restaurant earlier in the day, which will subsequently give morning sales the boost they need. Throughout 2018, Donut Sticks had 2 trial runs at select McDonald's locations in the United States. After the initial run, they tweaked some elements of the recipe slightly. The second run, which took place in October in Illinois, was a success.
It's the greatest moment of my life!
McDonald's took the positive feedback as a sign that they had perfected the recipe and that Donut Sticks were good enough to keep customers coming back to purchase them time and time again. They decided that Donut Sticks were ready for their official unveiling, which took place on February 20th, 2019. Here's to hoping that Donut Sticks do their job and help breakfast sales gain the momentum they require.
Are you allowed to eat jelly donuts, Private Pius?
Sir, no, sir!
It's basically a churro.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
So what exactly are Donut Sticks? While their name says donut, their actual appearance says churro. While they definitely aren't churros, they do have certain elements in common. For starters, they're made of fried dough, and then there's the fact that they're coated with a dusting of cinnamon sugar. They differ from churros in shape, as Donut Sticks are more similar in size and thickness to a potato wedge. This pastry is flaky and airy and light enough for your stomach to handle early in the morning. That's a good thing, because they come in sets of 6 or 12. Since they're so light and delicious, you'll have no problem eating 6 of these on your own.
I don't understand it.
As for their texture, the outside has a bit of crispiness to it, while the interior is soft and chewy. It's understandable if your mouth is watering by this point. They sound pretty incredible. All in all, despite their name, maybe don't purchase Donut Sticks expecting the traditional donut experience, because that's not really what you'll get. There's maybe some overlap in flavor, but overall, they're pretty different. However, that doesn't mean that they're not totally delicious.
Everything you just said is my favorite thing to do.
Premium pricing at McDonald's.
$1 million.
You might be wondering just how much bang for your buck you're getting when you purchase McDonald's Donut Sticks. The answer? A whole lot. You don't have to worry about spending an arm and a leg in order to get your hands on some of these. As previously stated, these baked goods can be purchased in sets of 6 or 12. While prices vary from location to location, but judging by the national average prices, even the higher-priced Donut Sticks won't set you back much at all. On average, a pack of 6 will cost you only $1.69, while 12 Donut Sticks are priced at a mere $3.29. Even better, you can actually take advantage of a special deal if you purchase a coffee along with a half a dozen donut sticks. The average price for a small coffee and 6 donut sticks is $2.59.
No deal.
It's an absolute steal. There's a reason why McDonald's is so popular among college students. Items on their menu are typically reasonably priced. Everyone should be happy to hear that this new addition will be no exception. At this point, there are really no excuses not to go try out Donut Sticks for yourself.
Oh, but I'm so sweet and tasty.
Donut Sticks are for a limited time only.
I came here in a time machine that you invented.
Another reason why you should definitely go out and buy yourself some McDonald's Donut Sticks as soon as humanly possible is that they are only available for a limited time only. They premiered on February 20th, 2019, and who knows how long they'll last. This is another way in which McDonald's is attempting to boost their breakfast sales. Historically, limited edition food items have had positive effects on the fast food chain's revenue, and it's clear that that's what McDonald's is hoping for here. They might be pitched as limited edition, but take take that statement with a grain of salt. It's not ridiculous to assume that there are good odds of donut sticks becoming a permanent item on the McDonald's menu. Of course, this all depends on how popular they are, but their light and airy texture, combined with their sweet cinnamon sugar coating, make them a nice balance for the other items on the breakfast menu, which are typically savory and much heavier.
Forbidden donut.
It also doesn't hurt that they pair perfectly with coffee, which is, of course, the superior breakfast beverage. Definitely don't sleep on donut sticks, as it's entirely possible that McDonald's meant it when they said they were limited edition. But also don't be surprised if they do end up becoming a staple item on the menu.
Have you guys seriously never heard of donuts?
In the AM at McDonald's.
Yo, man, I'm hungry. Where can we get some breakfast?
Like many other fast food restaurants, McDonald's is struggling when it comes to breakfast sales. A few years ago, McDonald's made the decision to make their breakfast menu available all day long. While many of us can't imagine going back to a time when we can't get a breakfast muffin at 2 in the afternoon, this wasn't necessarily the best financial move for the restaurant. Naturally, this led already mediocre sales in the morning hours to drop even lower. The fact that everyone's favorite breakfast foods are now available at all times of day doesn't provide much incentive to get out of bed early to do a before-work breakfast run. Forced to come up with a solution to this dilemma, McDonald's has decided to make a bunch of changes, some of which involve their menu. Enter donut sticks. These cinnamon sugar-covered pastries are a true breakfast food, as they're only sold until about 10:30 a.m. Donut sticks are made fresh each morning, so you're guaranteed that they will still be warm and soft when you pick them up.
Hey, the food's still warm.
This is important because the idea of a cold donut stick doesn't really do much for our appetites. All this to say, if you're not an early riser, you might want to learn to be one, because you really don't want to miss out on donut sticks.
Something's fishy. There's not a donut in this place.
Everything's better with coffee.
This is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
Caffeine is the unofficial sixth food group, and it's an objective fact that it makes everything better. The general consensus is that it pairs fabulously with donut sticks. This is, surprise, surprise, another tactic to boost morning sales. Many of us are unable to function without our morning coffee and will drop by our local McD's to pick one up before school or work. That's where this special deal comes in. Many participating McDonald's locations offer a discount when you buy a small filtered coffee and 6 donut sticks. The national average in the United States is $2.59, which will save you about 10 cents. That definitely adds up if you're a frequent customer.
Because you're our #1 customer.
In some restaurants, they might be even cheaper than that. One report has the pairing listed at the insanely low price of $1.99. Sure, this pairing is a financially sound one, but does it work in terms of taste? The reviews would have us believe it does. In fact, many people are going as far as to dunk their donut sticks into their coffee. It's definitely a matter of taste, but reportedly it makes them taste even better. So next time you stop by McDonald's to grab a morning cup of joe, maybe consider treating yourself to some donut sticks as well. Another interesting coffee-themed tidbit is that not only is McDonald's encouraging the pairing of baked goods and coffee, they're actually making McCafe-themed desserts. Some locations have been experimenting with coffee cakes and coffee-flavored muffins. What a time to be alive.
I'm from the future.
Be My Valentine.
You choose me?
Swap out the cinnamon hearts for cinnamon-covered donut sticks. These pastries might not be heart-shaped, but they do have a very special tie to Valentine's Day. While the official release date of donut sticks was February 20th, 2019, select locations actually released them a few days early on the 14th of the month. They were served for that one day and that one day only in honor of the holiday. This way, people could treat their loved ones to these new and delicious pastries. There's nothing like good food and good company. It's cheesy, but it's true. There's really no better way to kick off your day. On Valentine's Day, donut sticks can make sharing a meal with a loved one all the more fun.
Coffee and donuts!
Since they were a never-before-seen food item. Alternatively, if you happen to hit up McDonald's solo, you could treat yourself to donut sticks as an act of self-love, because that's important too. Single or not, this Valentine's Day promotion was a great one. Not only was it a great way to celebrate the day, but this special release release of donut sticks was absolutely a clever advertisement technique. If you missed out on this special promotional release, don't worry, you still have plenty of time to try donut sticks before their run comes to an end.
I'm gonna have to ask you to exit the donut.
The McCafe Bakery.
I don't want any. Thank you.
McCafe has been a huge hit for McDonald's. While dedicated McCafe stores are becoming more and more popular, McDonald's also carries the full McCafe line of beverages and food items at select regular locations. While McCafe is known for its coffee, obviously, they are also starting to offer a wide range of baked goods under the name McCafe Bakery. While donut sticks are currently just a limited release item, there's reason to believe they could become permanent fixtures to the McCafe menu lineup. McDonald's themselves are clearly trying to push the donut sticks as both a breakfast item and something to go along with your McCafe coffee in the mornings. Proof of this is easy to find. While McDonald's now serves breakfast all day, the donut sticks themselves are currently only available during morning hours. Furthermore, McDonald's is using the slogan, "A little sweet to go with your coffee," to promote the donut sticks.
Brought you a fresh one, Mr. Jones.
All this is evidence that McDonald's is treating this limited release as a proving ground for both the donut sticks and the expansion of both McCafe and the McCafe Bakery. Only time will tell if the donut sticks will become permanent menu items or if this limited release is all we will ever see of the donut sticks. But hey, the power is in your hands. If people like them and buy them, something tells us McDonald's will keep selling them.
That's me.
Ah! Mother of pearl! That is hot!
The Dunkin' Donuts controversy.
Yo, free coffee!
If you're a fast food aficionado, you may have noticed that McDonald's donut sticks have a lot in common with another fast food company's donut-themed snack. That, of course, is Dunkin' Donuts donut fries. Donut fries were released in June 2018, and while it may seem like McDonald's is ripping off the chain's idea, McD's claims they were working to develop donut sticks long before donut fries came out. Either way, you can't help but compare the two. Whether you prefer one over the other probably comes down to personal taste, so there's no harm in trying both to see where you land.
Don't mind if I do!
When McDonald's announced this new product in January, Dunkin' shot back, saying they weren't surprised McDonald's was taking inspiration from their menu. Presumably, McDonald's doesn't love the insinuation, but a little healthy competition isn't something anyone in the fast food industry is a stranger to. The prices of the respective restaurants' items are pretty comparable, especially if you look at the prices of a coffee and pastry combo. Like McDonald's, Dunkin' has been doubling down on their breakfast menu in an attempt to boost their morning sales. But unlike McDonald's, they didn't make their oddly shaped donuts a breakfast specialty. So McDonald's definitely gets points for creativity there.
Ding, ding, ding! What do we have for her, Johnny?
The verdict on McDonald's donut sticks.
You can't handle the truth!
After hearing the previous 9 entries on this list, you must be wondering whether or not donut sticks are everything they're cracked up to be. Do they actually have what it takes to increase McDonald's breakfast sales? Or are they a total flop? Initial reports seem to be overwhelmingly positive. Donut sticks appear to be delivering everything they promised they would. They are light, fluffy, and sweet. Even McDonald's suggested pairing of donut sticks and freshly brewed coffee seems to be going over well. From the looks of it, there's no false advertising here. It took a lot of development and experimenting with different shapes and consistencies, but all the hard work paid off in the end.
This is awesome.
Broadening the scope of the breakfast menu is a great move, and donut sticks definitely add a fresh twist. Keep in mind that, even though donut sticks are marketed as a breakfast food, some people still might find them a bit too sugary for early in the morning. This is especially true of those who don't have much of a sweet tooth. In the end, it really just comes down to personal taste. The reviews may be generally positive, but we can't tell you what to think about donut sticks. The only way to find out how you feel is by trying them. Now that donut sticks are finally available for all to enjoy, we definitely recommend you head to a participating location near you and purchase some for yourself. Then you can see where your opinion falls.
Donuts. Is there anything they can't do?
We've got more than donuts on our menu, so stick around and tap on one of our other great videos. And while you're tapping around, show us some love and tap that subscribe button and that bell to join our notification squad.